It's Oklahoma Weekly Update on Coffee with Democrats with hosts Scott Hamilton and Kevin Dawson. On March 8th, the Daily Oklahoman reported that Oklahoma ranked the worst state for women in a recent study. Oklahoma was ranked the worst state for women in the U.S. in a study released earlier this week. The study from Wallet Hub compared the 50 states in the District of Columbia on 25 key indicators of living standards for women, ranging from median earnings for female workers to women's health care to the female homicide rate. But according to Republican Project 2025, women of Oklahoma really don't have anything to worry about because according to the Republican Project 2025, women don't need rights as long as they've got kitchens. And since we're talking about Republican supermajority in Oklahoma under their leadership, women can be proud of Oklahoma being ranked having more women incarcerated in Oklahoma than any state in the U.S.
So much for Women's History Month. We're making history for all the wrong reasons, Kevin. And the Oklahoman also reported this week that Oklahoma ranks second to last in women's economic and social well-being, followed only by Louisiana. This time we can really say thank God for Louisiana. In related news from Ryan Walters' Mommy's KKK for Liberty van, Oklahoma is leading the nation in indoctrination at the state of Oklahoma private charter schools.
The Oklahoma continued this week with his streak of reporting on women having the worst lives under Republican rule. Reported that Oklahoman ranked 46th in the nation for the percent of women who voted in the 2020 presidential election. The state was followed by Alabama, South Dakota, Arkansas, and West Virginia. Overall, the study found that blue states were more women-friendly than red states. This fits in with the Republican Project 2025 strategy that women don't need to vote if they've got the kitchen.
Speaking of being worst 10, Oklahoma is now ranked as the 8th highest state in poverty. To add insult to injury, Oklahoma is now one of the most dangerous states in which to live. Your chances of being murdered in Oklahoma, well, they're higher than in Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, and just about everywhere else. I guess that Kevin Stitt will just add these to his collection of top 10 designations.
Oh, for crying out loud. The Oklahoman also reported this week that 2 Oklahoma turnpikes are being added to the U.S. interstate network. 2 new interstate designations will be popping up in Oklahoma next month, with the John Kilpatrick being designated as Interstate 344 and the Kickapoo Turnpike being designated as Interstate 335. Governor Stitt is extremely happy with these new designations. As he said last week in Tulsa, he likes seeing orange cones on the highway, and that the next turnpike that he is waiting on with bated breath is his request to have the extension from East Oklahoma City to Purcell to be designated Interstate Highway 666.
And how appropriate, the highway to hell. Well, the Oklahoman also reported this week that Governor Stitt again pushes back on AG Gittner Drummond's opinion on dual roles. Governor Stitt says, in spite of the AG's opinion, it makes sense to have, quote, the best people in Oklahoma in charge of state agencies and also in his cabinet. Stitt, the best people, really? I guess this includes the dual role of Superintendent of Public Instruction and Chief Officer of BDS&N. Because there's nothing like having Ryan Walters' fat butt sitting in the front seat of his Mommy's KKK for Liberty van.
Oh, can you imagine seeing that naked butt?
Well, speaking of our state's AG, we've come to think of Drummond as a reasonable public servant, Kevin, but with a stroke of a pen, he became less public servant and more MAGA politician, signing on with 15 other red states Drummond is threatening to sue the people of Maine for providing reproductive health care, life-saving health care to Oklahoma women. What happened to your values, Mr. Attorney General?
Come on, Gettner. Oh, for crying out loud. The Daily Oklahoman reported on March 7th that Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, on Nikki Haley dropping out, she took it too far. I guess Mini Mark is unhappy that there wasn't enough room on Trump's ass to kiss with Haley in the way.
Yeah, but this week I've noticed those lips are turning more and more orange all the time.
Yes, they are.
It was also reported that Ronnie from Alabama is boycotting taking his truck into New York City after New York declared Donald Trump to be a tax cheat and is fining him nearly $500 million in penalties. Oh, Ronnie is so upset that instead of New Yorkers not being able to get their groceries, he can't afford groceries because he got fired from his job for not driving a load to New York. So Ronnie established the GoFundMe called Help Ronnie Continue to Boycott New York. The only person willing to help was a 90-year-old woman who stuck out her middle finger and wants him to pull on it. I'm not sure that's the kind of gas he was looking for.
While education, healthcare, and economic opportunities are being overlooked, the lawmakers at 23rd and Lincoln have concerned themselves with locking the clock. While this may appeal to many Oklahomans, it is horrible for business. Imagine trying to schedule online meetings, booking a flight to Oklahoma, or so much more that will leave business leaders to shake their heads and just walk away from Oklahoma again, just like Panasonic did. Oh, the efforts our legislature will go to just to own the libs.
Well, I wish that someone, Kevin, had counted the times the word foreign was used in the Capitol this week. Much of that was from the mouth of newly minted Senator Dusty Devers out of Lawton. He's proposed 9 bills this session, including one that would charge a woman as a felon for having an abortion for any reason. And almost all of his other bills are about pornography. And one can't help but wonder why this preacher man is so obscenely obsessed with porn. Devers is one to keep your eyes on, folks, but don't shake hands with him. You don't know where those hands have been.
No, keep sanitizer close by. We don't write the headlines.
In Oklahoma, the headlines write themselves.
Until next week on Oklahoma Weekly Update on Coffee with Democrats, I'm Kevin Dawson.
And I'm Scott Hamilton. Thanks for joining us. See you again next week.